Hello, I'm Joe,
I'm Joe's mom.
and we're Eastside Vibes. So today we're back at it again, and we're talking about an artist that, so when I like people, because I'll have people like ask me like for music to listen to, like random artists
Okay.
who I think are cool
Yeah.
to check out, where like they're like, tell me something different, and
Yeah.
like someone who I mention a lot is Rico Nasty.
Yep. I remember when we did the Post Malone one a long time ago. You brought her up to me, and I
Yeah.
fell in love with her.
Yeah, and like she's someone like to this day. I feel like a couple weeks ago, someone asked me, and not unrelated to like knowing about this album
yeah.
or wanting to like talk about this album,
Yep.
her new album. I like told someone to look up Rico Nasty,
Yeah.
just because she's like not what you expect her to be.
No, not at all.
As far as like female rap music goes,
Right.
she's for the most part a lot more outlandish. In a way, I would like sort of compare it a little bit to like how Charlie XCX is with pop music,
Okay.
where it's just like she's like pushing the bar as much as she can, and she's always done that.
Right. But there's some where she's like, it's like heavy, like disturbed kind of
Well,
like rock.
Yeah, like I said, she's like pushing the bar and like what like hip hop is supposed to be. Like she can do like what I would call is like normal trap or pop trap, which
Yep.
is on this
Which
new
is
album.
a lot of this album.
Lethal. It's called Lethal, by the way. But like she can also do a lot of like more like different stuff. Like when I first started listening to her, it was probably pretty early in her career, to be honest.
Okay.
It was when like she first started to get into what she would call like metal trap, I guess.
Metal trap, definitely.
Which to this day, like there are other artists who have like sort of gone a similar direction. I would say like what Playboy Cardi and Ken Carson do is like ish like that, but the way like Rico Nasty does it is way different.
She's awesome.
I can even like remember like seeing like her first like interview, like the first like, cause she used to work with this producer named Kenny Beats all the time, and I can remember like seeing an interview where they talk about how they met, and she knew that he like could play like metal like music, and she asked him to make him a metal trap beat, and he's like, what? I don't know what that means, because like no one's ever asked for that before,
Yeah.
and then they just kind of like came up with like this sound.
It's great.
So over the years, I've been like a very big fan of her. Like I said, I've been suggesting her music to everyone I can like, come across. And her like first two albums, they're called Anger Management and Nightmare Vacation.
Anger Management.
Both of them like have like this really like rough around the edges like hardcore feeling.
Yep.
Since then, she's kind of, I wouldn't say like lightened up, but like she's gone in like a ton of different directions.
And it's probably because she has a new label, Fuel.
Well,
maybe?
I think that's only in the last like year or two. Like like this is like, because Nightmare Vacation came out in like 2020.
Okay.
So I don't know, maybe if her like life is like lightened up in a way where she's like starting to make like brighter music, if that makes sense.
Here.
But yeah, so she had, after Nightmare Vacation, she had another album come out in 2022, which was called like Las Ruinas.
It was an album or a mixtape?
It was an album.
Okay.
And I think it might be her only like real like major label release. I think that one was with Atlantic.
Okay.
And that record was a lot more like punk based, like not as much like rapping and stuff really.
She can do everything.
And like I remember like it got like very polarizing reviews.
Right. Because they want to hear what you did before.
Well, I'll admit at the time I wasn't really into that one. Like,
Okay.
For me, I was like this. I don't know that. Not that it was bad. It just like wasn't for me.
Okay.
And I've like gone back and I started to appreciate some of it. But yeah, for a while it just like was not. Or that album, I was just like, oh, if this is where she's going, then I don't know if I'm gonna like keep listening to her new stuff. And then over the last couple of years, she's like done a lot of music with like some EDM artists.
Okay.
Like I know she did something with Boys Noise. She did something with Skrillex. And it's her music. She started doing like this more like hyper pop sound.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I don't know if you've heard any of those songs,
No.
but
I'll go back because I like Skrillex, so I'll go
Like,
back.
like yeah, no, it got like very like way different than anything she's done. Like
Okay.
lots of singing and like.
That's
but like,
what is in here too.
Oh, I was gonna say some of that is in here.
Mm-hmm.
Some of like that like EDM stuff she's been doing over
Yeah.
the last couple of years.
I did not expect that. I
Yeah.
expected what I had listened to in anger management. So I was like, wait, what? Like,
Yeah.
it surprised me.
So she had expanded her sound even more, which I thought was
Yes.
interesting.
Yes.
Which, by the way, like when the last Ruiness came out, I didn't like. I thought it was cool that she was like willing to like go in a different direction like
Mhm,
that.
mhm.
Just like that wasn't necessarily for me.
Right.
I wasn't really gonna go.
I get it.
I'm not like super into like that style of like punk music, even though I do like some kinds of punk music. But so like as my mom mentioned a few minutes ago, like recently she got like new management,
Mhm.
and I think she also switched labels.
Yeah, to Fuel. That's
But
the-
like besides that, like she got a whole new like team and stuff from like
Yep.
what I understand.
Yep.
And it seems like with this new album, Lethal, she may have had like more control over what the whole sound was supposed to be.
That's what it said in an interview. Yeah.
Which I guess we can get into later, like whether or not like how well that worked, like like depending or according to you and according to me.
Yeah.
Because one thing about her albums before this is like you mentioned you like anger management a lot. Like the
Yep.
whole thing like it flows very well.
Mhm.
Every instrumental is like pretty similar to the last.
Okay.
And even like Las Ruinas is like that, and Nightmare Vacation's like that too.
Okay.
I would say Lethal is not really like that.
No.
It's all over the place.
It is all over the place. The theme is there, but it's all over the place.
Yeah, I mean, it's still like thematically and like lyrically, it still has that very like FU like sort of feeling to it that
Yeah.
like most of her music has always had.
Yeah.
But yeah, like sonically, it's just like it goes up and down and left and right. It's literally all over the place.
Mhm.
And like what's like interesting is I guess we'll like get into like our favorite songs. I think a lot of our favorite songs ended up being ones that actually that's not true because a couple of yours like weren't like for older music. So,
Okay. Yeah. No.
but like for me, at least two of the ones I picked were like very similar to like what I
Yeah.
would like want to listen to her.
Yeah. And one of them he picked
before.
was one of them I had picked. So when you talk about it, we'll be able to talk
Well,
about it together.
But unlike we've done on the last like couple where we've talked about like more songs, I guess we'll go back to like talking about some of our favorite songs again,
Mhm,
and then go over like more like thoughts on the whole album at the end.
Yeah.
But so I guess we'll jump right into it.
I got a couple interesting things though, if
Oh,
I may.
okay.
First of all, bet you didn't know this, she is working on a movie in LA called Margot's Got Money Problems with Nicole Kidman, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Nick Offerman. Like huge stars. Each of them, I don't know about Nick Offerman, but Pfeiffer and Kidman have won Academy Awards. I'm like, what?
Yeah, I wonder what she's doing in that.
Yeah, exactly. And in this interview with Variety, he mentioned it with Variety magazine. Under this new management and this new label, she feels like she was able to move away from the music she was doing. It's not that she wants to become a different artist, but she was given more, you said it, she was given more.
Oh, yeah, like I mentioned, it sounds like she had more control over like what this was supposed to sound like.
Yep. The meaning of the album, and you can hear this in everyone, and this is what she said in Variety magazine, it's realizing that she has always been surrounded by love, but she didn't think she could feel it.
Oh,
This is what she said.
I mean, okay.
This is what she said. So for her, it's kind of like, there's always been good stuff around me, but I guess I wasn't feeling it because I don't know if she just had
I don't know.
bad self-esteem.
I don't know about that one.
And then it takes loving yourself to realize, I see why everybody loves me so much.
I don't know if we listened to the same album.
We did. This is what she said
Yeah, I don't
in
know.
Variety
I don't
magazine.
know if she listened to her own album.
Maybe not.
Because like I mean, there's some positivity on here, but I
Yeah.
wouldn't say there's a lot of positivity on this.
Oh no, it's not positivity at all. I think it's her realizing that it's
No,
there.
like what you just said is a positivity.
Yeah, it is. It is. But
Self-love and.
self-love. It's like the 70s with the
Well,
flowers.
no, I'm like this. This, you know, this doesn't sound like, I don't know. This doesn't sound like Taylor Swift or something like that. I wouldn't say this music to me feels like self-love.
Yeah.
Not that Taylor Swift's music is about self-love, but
No.
like melodically, I would say it's closer to that feeling.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't really know where she's going with that. But anyway, like I said, I guess we'll jump into like, some of our favorite songs. I see the first song you picked is "Who Want It," which
Yep.
is the first song on the album.
Right.
So I guess I'll let you talk about that one.
So what caught me right off the bat is it sounded like a cheerleading thing. Like I could see cheerleaders being like, "Who want it? Who want it?" Like that was like that caught my attention right away. And then you know, because I was a cheerleader, so that's why it comes in. But then the album, the song itself, I really got into. It's related to what she told Variety magazine. It takes loving yourself to realize I see what everybody loves, why everybody loves me so much. So she's like, who want it? Who want it? So it's kind of like
I mean, I
her
guess.
wanting to know who wants love, or who wants not maybe love, but who wants.
This isn't Elton John.
I know, but it's like maybe who wants to feel better about themselves. I don't know. Rico Nasty has described the song as owning yourself. That was the big thing. Owning yourself to the good, the bad, and the ugly. So I can see that. You know, she's kind
Yeah,
of
I
like
can see
who
that
wants
part
it.
of
You
it.
you have to own what you're doing though. Whatever you do good, whatever you do bad, and whatever you do ugly. But somehow in there, accept that that's who you are, and maybe have a little more like not self-love, but self-assurance maybe. That could be it. She also highlights the feeling of alienation that can come with being true to yourself. And some lyrics I have with that was, I'm way up in the mountains, came a long way from apartments, cheesing like a bitch, fame don't make you rich, who want it? So she's like basically looking at her life going, you know, I was way up here, I'm way from apartments. You know, fame doesn't necessarily make you rich though. It's what makes you rich is the people around you who you associate with. And then that's what she was like, who want it? So that's what she said and what I got out of it.
Yeah, I mean,
We didn't listen to the same album.
that notion also of like fame doesn't make you rich or being rich doesn't make you rich. I don't always like agree with that, because like I don't know, I feel like money doesn't necessarily like give you happiness, but it gives you the opportunity to get your happiness
Yeah,
if you know what makes you happy.
yeah,
And I mean, yeah, that's the thing that I guess people have to learn. But like the people who don't have it, like saying that is like what do you mean? Like you could go do whatever is gonna make you happy, and I can't.
mm-hmm.
You know, so like that's where like but I at the same time it is important to like try to surround yourself with people that make you
Happy.
feel good about yourself.
Yeah, that make you rich in how you feel.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, before like I get into like a couple of my like actual picks, I wanted to just talk about a couple like other songs.
Yep.
Like one, this isn't. I actually like changed like what I was gonna talk about like while we were talking before this.
He goes right on the spot.
Well because yeah, 'cause I like other songs.
Yeah.
And I listened to it enough.
Nice.
But like one of the songs I was gonna like bring up, which I'm gonna just like talk about briefly now, is "Teeth Sucker." That was the first single,
Okay.
and
That's a good one.
I was like pretty pumped up when I heard that one. The instrumental I like showed someone at my work who was like into like punk music, and they really liked it because it has like a very like kind of like hard like early 2000s like punk like instrumental, or
Yes.
I would say melody.
Yeah.
But it also has a trap beat, and it's like a more like punkier version of like what she used to do, like that
Okay.
like metal trap thing. Like she's
Okay.
like screaming on it, like she
Yes.
does like the metal trap stuff. But
I love that
like I
screaming.
said,
I love it.
this one is like a little more punky, and lyrically it's like very like braggadocious, like
Yes.
just like kind of her
Yes.
talking, like I guess like similar to the first song, like talking about like how, like gassing herself up.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that was just like one I wanted to like briefly talk about. Another one that I think is interesting is Pink.
Mm-hmm.
It's, to me, this sounds a lot like Doja Cat, like
Yeah, you
almost
said
like
that
she's
before.
like trying to sound like Doja Cat a little bit.
I wonder if that's like where she's going now with her new like
At least
thoughts or
what-
feelings to
a few
put
of
those
these
beats
songs.
in. Yeah.
Which is interesting because Doja Cat's last album, she went away from a lot of the Doja Cat sound that she was known
So everybody
for.
else is taking the Doja,
Yeah.
the old Doja Cat.
Yeah, I guess Doja Cat doesn't want to be Doja Cat anymore.
Okay.
But everyone wants to be her. But like, I just wanted to say like lyrically, this song is just like a pretty like, I would say like non-sophisticated sexual song.
Yeah.
But I think Rico did a pretty good job. Like if she like made a full album of this kind of music, like I think it would probably be pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And like one thing like you probably don't know is before she even started doing like the metal trap stuff,
Okay.
she made like, she'll say it in her songs sometimes, she made what she calls called a sugar trap, which was probably more similar to this, because I remember like when I first heard her, she had like more of like a poppier sound.
Okay.
And like Pink reminded me of that, but it was like a more like poppy version of that, so I guess a little more Doja Cat-y version of that. Yeah, but those are just like two songs I wanted to just shout out real quick.
Mm-hmm.
Like one of my like actual favorites, or I would say probably my favorite song on here, and I just wish it was longer, is "Son of a Gun." And like "Son of a Gun," like to me sounds a lot like something like Rage or like Trust Issues, like from her first couple mixtapes. It has like this very like harsh, like gritty, like metal, like instrumental, like almost like there's almost like no melody to it, just because of like even though like it is being played on guitar, but it's just so like intense that it almost sounds like there's no melody.
That's why I said I feel when she gets into that groove, she in my mind it's just like Disturbed or some of those kind of bands that just go that way or whatever. So
well, I think this is like a lot harder than like Disturbed.
yes,
like,
but that just
no,
kind
this
of
is like
pops up in my head.
This is like almost like death metal sounding.
Death metal.
And
Yes.
like the Swedish stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But this has like a huge beat. Like this is the kind of song I've like told like a buddy of mine like recently, like there's been times when I've been at work where like just like something happens, I'm just like mad, and I'll go in the car and I'll blast something like Rage, or there's like a couple other songs like Ghost Names, Fed Up. This is a song I'm probably gonna add to that.
Yeah, because do you do the Rage with her as
Yeah,
well?
you scream.
I do
You
that on.
scream the lyrics.
What is the song Rage from Anger Management the one I want? I think it is. And I'll sometimes drive in the car and I'll do the same thing. When I'm really stressed out, I do the screaming. It's just hysterical. If people around me if I have my windows open, people around me are gonna be like, what's going on?
I know that people at work have seen me doing it. And I don't care. I'm like,
it's helpful.
Well, maybe that'll make them not walk up to me when I like go back into work. Like like that dude must be pissed off. But yeah, like I said, I think I'm gonna add "Son of a Gun" to that, to like those songs. Just like the song you just go in your car and just like literally like people are walking out to their cars around you and like my car's shaking because of the bass. But yeah, like vocally it's very aggressive too. She has like that like classic like Rico sound to it. And like the lyrics of I love the lyrics of this one because this is like she's like talking to someone who like made her mad or whatever, and she's a bit like she's like son of a gun, like don't run when I come, and like she's like basically like calling someone out and saying like I don't care, like I'm gonna come like get you or get back.
Yeah, I'm gonna confront you.
Yeah, for like whatever you did.
Yep.
Yeah, and I really dig that one. The next song, my 3 songs that I would say are like actually my favorites actually in a row. The next one is Smoke Break.
I love Smoke Break.
This and my 3rd song are the most different from anything else on this record. This, like Smoke Break, is I would say this isn't a hip hop song. There's really no like hip hop about this.
No, I get, and this to me, it's just old Rico Nasty. That's how I felt for me, and I think maybe because she was screaming in this one.
Yeah, but this isn't even this isn't even rap.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe. Well, I
don't think she's ever made anything like this.
Oh, okay.
I would not compare this to anything she's made.
Okay. I think it was the screaming part that I just was like, this.
Yeah,
is
but she screams on "Son of a Gun."
Yeah, she does.
That.
Yeah, she does.
This is like Smoke Break is like. It's like a hardcore punk song. A little bit of it, I'm writing a little bit like that Jack White album from last year, or something like Fontaine's DC, or like I said, like harder, like Idols, like harder punk music. I wonder if I'll have to go look if the producer I mentioned before, Kenny Beats, produced this.
Okay. Because
he's like shifted away recently, from what I've noticed, from hip hop to producing more like punk and hard rock stuff.
Okay.
And this sounds like that to me.
What would you classify Jack White as? Punk or?
Well, like what he did the album from last year was punk.
Okay.
But and like the White Stripe stuff, I would say is punk or garage rock. But
yeah,
a lot of his other stuff, like a lot of his other solo stuff, has been more like blues.
Really?
Which,
interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
he's really good. Like, I don't think people realize what a good musician he is.
People realize.
Oh, sorry. I guess I'm old, so people my age have no idea what a good musician he is.
I think people realize. No, Jack White. Yeah, like I said, like he had like 3 or 4 solo albums that like they weren't punk. They were like weird experimental blues, and they're really cool.
I'm gonna have to go listen.
But his one from last year, the one that like was one of my favorites of last year, that was like just straight up punk.
Okay.
And that's what Smoke Break makes me think of.
Okay.
It's like I said, like I wouldn't compare this to anything she's done. Like I don't think she's made a song like this before.
Okay.
Where like it's just, I guess that's not true. The last Ruinas album had stuff that was like this.
Okay.
And now maybe I'm appreciating it more. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. Like I said, it's just like a gritty, like really upbeat punk song. It like makes me want to like go to a concert or like jump in a mosh pit.
Yes, that's it. You know, you use the word gritty. That's what comes out for me. I think was the gritty part of it. So,
it has like a very aggressive sound.
Yes,
but not in the same way as Son of a Gun.
No, I agree with you. But yeah, it's got that aggressive, like gritty sound to it, and that's probably what drew me in.
Yeah. But yeah. So that's how I feel about Smoke Break. I really like just how different it is from everything on here.
It is good.
Then my 3rd song was, like I said, it's the 3rd one right after this. It's Crash.
That's a good one too.
Once again, this is way different than anything else on the record.
Correct.
Before like we started listening, I had to show my mom like immediately what like the riff of this sounds like.
Oh, yeah.
Like to the point where I almost might send this to my sister and her boyfriend, because I know they love the band, the other band.
Okay.
But the instrumental for this sounds a lot like The Middle by Jimmy Eat World. So this is obviously like kind of like an emo rock song.
Yes.
Which, once again, it's not hip hop. She sings on it.
Yes, she does.
The whole time.
She does.
And this is just way different than anything else on the record.
I agree.
I really appreciate that. Like she's willing to, like not like it's one thing of like going in different directions like this, but it's like doing it well.
Correct. Oh yeah.
And like she did it well.
Yeah.
And I appreciate that.
I think that's how the whole album was. Is that like you said, she was all over the place. Music, instrumentally, everything. but I just liked the sound. I liked how it worked together.
Well, she like if she's gonna like try like a sound, like she's not gonna like half-ass it. Obviously, like she's gonna do a good job.
Right.
And yeah, so that's how I feel about Crash.
Mm-hmm.
And I think you said you had one more song you wanted
Yes,
to
I
talk
do.
about.
I have "You Can Never Be Like Me."
Yeah, or you could. It's you could never. It's called.
Oh, You Can Never. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the "You Can Never Be Like Me."
Yeah.
That's where it is. So for this one, this is what I got out of it is that it's expressing her uniqueness and individuality because she's saying you could never be like me.
Yeah.
You know what? People cannot replicate her, is what I'm getting. So some lyrics that go there is, I don't see no one, I'm a winner, I done come up, hood Cinderella, trying to steal my shine, you could never, trying to get one up, I do better, you could never be like me. So she's just kind of, you can't.
Yeah.
Like, nobody can be like you, and nobody can be like me, you know? She's just saying it straight up. It exemplifies that she is unique in her style and her branding, 100%. She is not afraid to be who she is, as not only being a musical artist, but also someone just with a unique personality. And she does have a unique personality. Some some lyrics that go there, they thought I was crazy, out of the box. I love that. I really love that. Then they step in shoes and see how I was treated. She was treated pretty crappy when she was growing up. Never complained, they were bashing my name, but I wasn't afraid. So I like how she's just saying, you can't be like me. And she's coming up with all these reasons why.
I think you might have read almost all the lyrics of that song.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. But I do you want to say something about
I think
the song?
sonically it makes me think, like I said, this is another one that makes me think of Doja Cat.
Yes.
It has a very like poppy like sound to it.
Mm-hmm.
And which I do like the sentiment of it though.
Mm-hmm.
And like I don't know, like if you don't know Rico Nasty, you wouldn't know about this, but if you like follow her online, like her fashion is extremely eccentric.
Mm-hmm.
So that like leans into like the feeling of this song.
Yep.
Like I've always, that's one thing I've always like loved about her. It's just
Right.
like how like daring she is like with the way she dresses.
Right. Like, growing up, the group who did Karma Chameleon, I can't remember who he is, Boy George,
Yeah.
or whatever. I love the fact that he was who he was. Like, I really got into that band. He sang well, but he was just, this is who I am in my cool dressing, and even like Prince
Yeah.
dressed something different. I like that people are like, this is who I am, and this
Yeah.
is how I'm gonna be. So when they've got uniqueness to them and they show it through their style, I think that's really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do have 2 shout outs.
Okay.
The first one is On the Low, and I just like that one because I think to me it's a slower song. And I have.
I think
to
that
how
was
it
one of the
goes.
singles, and that was one I wasn't into.
Interesting. And then this is her, after you hear the whole album, her last song is Smile.
Yeah.
And it just, it does make you smile. I think it's kind of like saying from her perspective that, with everything that she in her life and all that stuff, that, she smiles about the good things.
Yeah. Yeah, I think sonically that one's a lot like softer than a lot of the rest of the record too.
Yes, it is a lot softer.
Like it closes things out like pretty,
Mm-hmm.
like soft, like I don't know, like softly or
Yeah.
nicely.
Yes, instead of the hard rock or whatever, it's
Yeah.
just kind of like, it's a pretty song.
And I think
That's weird to say for Rico
You Can
Nasty.
Never, I think, is before that, so it like winds the album down.
Mhm.
It's not like a super abrupt
Yes.
like fall off. So that's how we feel about or those were our favorite songs, I should say, from Rico Nasty's Lethal. And I guess I'll let you talk about how you felt about it before I give some more of my thoughts.
Okay. So again, I was thinking when you're like, let's listen to it, I was thinking it's going to be anger management and just a lot of screaming and, like I said, songs that when I get in the car.
Yeah,
it's
I
like,
guess I didn't tell you before this. I knew that it wouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Because
So I was.
I've been paying it, like that album came out 5 years ago. So
Okay.
I've been like paying attention to like what she's like done recently.
recently?
So yeah, I knew it wouldn't be like that.
I was pleasantly surprised, really,
Yeah.
because she can sing. You know, every artist, I'm assuming, can sing, whether you
Yeah.
know whatever it is that they have, whatever persona they have. But like she sang really well, and when you got to On the Low and Smile and stuff like that, it was a very pretty unique sound for her, and I liked it a lot, but I was happy that she put like two of those more, as I'll call it, aggressive songs in there, because that just shows, you know, it's because she's trying to show a new part of who she is musically.
Yeah.
It also shows though that part of her is never gonna go away, you know, because that's really what put her out there. So that's how I feel about it. I liked it.
Yeah. So like I'll say when I first listened to it, like I felt a little underwhelmed. And it's not like it's not that I like expected or wanted it to be like that harder sound, because I knew it wouldn't be. I actually really liked her little EP she did last year, the EDM one.
Okay.
I thought that was really good. So I didn't have to be that harder sound. But one thing like about this, like we mentioned that it sounds very scattered.
Yes.
I don't think, in my opinion, it sounds very organized.
No, it doesn't.
And
that's why, going back to what you said, I think she's the one who had the say on how this was going to go.
Which is fine,
Yeah.
but it didn't. But like that's why it didn't click for me at first. But like as I mentioned throughout this, for what it's worth, whatever sound she does, whatever she tries to do, she does it very well.
Yes, she does.
So you can't like hate on the actual like product. And it made me like appreciate the album more. I'll like get like more into like a full like actual review on my blog next week, where I like give like I guess like more of like a rating and stuff. But
Okay.
I will say that I did enjoy a lot of this, and like I downloaded a lot more than I thought I was going to.
Okay.
And like listening like through again this morning, it didn't sound as scattered to me anymore.
Okay.
I guess I got like where I got the theme of it like sonically a little.
I listened to it all the way through like multiple times. And
I think the more I listened to it, the more like I could like figure out like where it was supposed to like be
correct.
going, I guess.
Correct.
And I do like it lyrically. It has a very like in your face and like I don't know, not anthemic, but like
What does anthemic mean?
Anthem.
Oh, okay.
Like a very self like loving or self-reliant maybe theme, which is like the kind of music I dig, because I think you need to listen to that to hype yourself up
100%.
with what's going on around you in the world.
Yes.
So there are a lot of songs on here where I could just like listen to I don't know, to amp myself up, I guess, for the day or whatever. Like I mentioned,
Right.
like
You're not going to go in the car and listen to Smile.
Yeah.
I mean,
well,
that's not going to happen.
you might,
well.
but
Yeah.
you know, no, I'm saying just in general,
Yeah.
like lyrically. But yeah, those were some of our thoughts on Rico Nasty's Lethal.
Yeah, I'm glad we did it. I'm glad I got to do a Rico Nasty album.
Yeah, I'm glad that like she finally released something, a full album like while we were doing this, because I wasn't gonna have you do that EDM one from last year.
Okay.
But now you got to hear an album from Rico Nasty like while like we're in the process of doing these videos. But anyway, I'm Joe.
I'm Joe's mom.
And we're Eastside Vibes, and thanks for watching.
Bye.